Hey guys, welcome to the big fat chat. I am full of cold, but I'm here again. So I wasn't going to drop an episode this week, purely because I've been hanging out of my arse for the last, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days. And obviously it's Christmas week and I work as a chef. So as you can imagine, well, it's not Christmas week yet, but it's on the run up to Christmas and the kids are off school now. So as you can imagine, as a chef, life isn't great at the moment, and I don't have a lot of free time. And obviously, I'm still writing this bastard album. I am so close to finish writing it though. And then as soon as I've done that, I got way more time for this podcast. But right now, as it sits, writing that album is actually the reason what made me come up with the reason what made me. Wow. It's the reason that made me come up with today's topic. No, it's not going to be a long one. It's going to be quite short, I think. Purely because, one, I don't want to like kind of oversaturate the situation, because this topic kind of puts me in a bad light anyway, and I don't want to spend too much time out of there. And secondly, my throat is absolutely shagged. So I'm going to take a sip. Hold on. I'm drinking out of one of those like gym bottles, so it sounds like I'm drinking like a pig. But so yeah, I'm gonna explain to you the quick topic and why it came to my head today of all days. So like I said, I wasn't going to drop a podcast today because I've just felt like horse shit all day, all week, and I haven't really, like, I got a couple of ideas that I want to get into. So obviously I want to do the fatherhood one, the one of, like, you know, I've been a father for 3 years now. I'm coming up on 30 years old. 30 years old on the 6th of January. So if anybody wants to send me a birthday card or PayPal me some cash, that's fine. But yeah, I really want to do the fatherhood one. But what I want to do is I want to spend a lot of time kind of working out the intricacies of what I want to say. And I don't want to spitball it as much as I usually do. So that's gonna come. And there's a couple more actually as well. I'm a chef, right? So I love food. And I was tucking into a Domino's pizza not too long ago, and I really wanted to go into the history of pizzas, like and the pizzas that we know now, and pizzas from before that time. So like that's another one that I yeah. So this is the shit. This is the shit that you're gonna get from Big Fat Chat. To be honest with you, like you're gonna have me talking to you about the past of like Santa Claus. And you're going to have me talking about like the history of where where pizzas come from and stuff. So that's what you're going to get from me. Like, do you know what the aim of Big Fat Chat podcast is now? And I kind of decided that today. It's just like I want to arm my listeners with things to say at parties when the conversation dries up. And that's what Big Fat Chat is going to be from now on. So if you listen to these, you're going to get so much absolutely pointless, trivial kind of knowledge. So like if somebody says to you, well, Santa's only in existence because of Coca-Cola, you listen to last week's podcast and you'll be able to dispel that myth. You know, I want you to be like that really weird person at parties that can debunk the weirdest of theories, and that's what I want. So you're gonna find out. Probably, if I can ever be bothered to look into it even more, you're gonna find out the history of pizzas at some point, which yeah, it is interesting. Everybody thinks that the pizza came from Italy, and it did in a way, but it didn't in another way. So I'm not gonna give away too much about that. We'll keep that on the back burner. But yeah, so as you can tell from the title today. This is about a part of my life that I've very often tried to forget, and I can never really get it off my mind. Like it's always at the back there for some reason. It's one of the major regrets of my life, and like as you know, I'm approaching 30. This is a big milestone for a human. You know, you're hitting 30. It's a big deal, like. And it does make me look back at the first 30 years of my life, and it makes me want to avoid making those mistakes again. And I made a lot. I'm filled with regret, and this is probably, I regret doing something that got me really, really very, very close to getting chucked in jail. And it ruined my relationship with Kaz, and I had to, I lost my house, I lost my job, I lost my fiance, and that fills me with regret. And I, like, more recent times, I stupidly regret ever cheating on Eve as well. That's one of the things that I really, really wish that I hadn't done in my life. But this one, the topic of this big fat chat is, it's bullying. And this one has been with me for longer than all the shit with Kaz. It's been with me for longer than all the shit with Eve. And it's one of the earliest things in my life that I regret. So, it's had way longer to beat me up than the other stuff has. And for some reason, it all kind of came to a head today. As everybody knows, I mention it in pretty much every podcast at the minute, I'm writing an album, and I started the only song on the album that hadn't been started yet. So I got 3 songs left to finish, and this song was not even started written. All I had was an idea. And the song is called My Revival, and it's about how I'm trying to revive a different me, a me that's more empathetic and less hypocritical. So, the basis of the song is, how can I hate Kaz for cheating on me, but then less than 2 years later I went and did it to somebody else. And another part of the song is how I fucking absolutely despise seeing anyone touch my kid. Do you know what I mean? When I'm at school and I see a kid push him over, and it's just it boils my blood, and I just want to shunt the other kid. Do you know what I mean? But that's hypocritical as well, because 15 years ago, I was the other kid. I was the pusher. I was the one that took a kid's coat off and put him out in the rain, and I told him that I didn't want to share the same bus stop as him, so he got soaked through wearing just a shirt, and I made the whole fucking bus stop laugh at him. I was that person, and that's worse than anybody's doing to my 3-year-old kid, So I have to... I have to ask myself, what would I do if my son met teenager me? And I'd fucking wring my neck. I would treat me like a man if I met younger me now. Because, I don't know, I do think, in my mind, I think that I've wrecked this kid's childhood, and to this day, I genuinely feel like there can't be a way that he's fully forgotten what I did to him. In my mind, anyway, I can't see a way where he's just forgotten it and got on with life, So this song now, I've finished writing it, so it's ready to go, and all I got to do now is just finish another 3, and then I'm done. So it's maybe 4 verses or something, and then I'm done with this whole goddamn album. And then I just need to record it for the 3rd time and mix and master the whole thing. So, like I said, end of January, hopefully, and then that's coming out. So, I write this song, and I haven't really spoken about Damien or, to anybody, apart from Di, that podcast, maybe 5 or 6, where I said that I really, really wanted to message this guy, but I couldn't find him. And it came about today that he changed, his name is not what I knew his name to be on Facebook. So every time I was searching him, he wasn't there because that wasn't his name on Facebook. So, sorry, I need another drink. My throat is literally killing. A little bit of ASMR view. So this kid, well, he's not a fucking kid. He's 30 now. His name's Damien Kemeny. He came to my school. When did he come to my school? He was. It was he was 13 or 14, and he came to our school halfway through the year. So fuck, wait. I'll try to sneeze. Hold on. Right. Fuck it. Look at the light. He was 13 or 14 when he came to the school, so it was I don't know, year 8 or 9, something like that. And he's an Irish kid. He has red hair. He has freckles. And he kind of sounds like he hasn't been through puberty yet. So for an up-and-coming fucking absolute asshole bully like me, I saw that as like literal cannon fodder. And I used it every fucking day that I could against him. And every turn, every second that I could ruin his life, I would. For the acceptance of my friends. And that's kind of how it was, for 3 years of the fucking kid's life. So, I do this to him for 3 or 4 years. Then we leave school. And I forget about him. Like he doesn't exist to me anymore. He was just easy prey. And now I get a job and I move on with my life and I don't give a flying fuck about the kid. Like, that's it. And then I turn 20. And in a job that I'm in, a young girl tries to kill herself because she is getting bullied in work. And it comes out, it's very public. Like I knew the person that was doing it very well. Like I didn't have anything to do with that, but I knew the person that was doing it very well. I didn't ever see anything happening. But at the same time, I never really paid it any thought. So, all of this comes out, and this poor young girl is left with absolutely no other option than to try and kill herself. Luckily, she didn't, and I'm pretty sure she's doing fine now. But that gets you, and like if there's anything to kind of kick you up the arse, it's someone trying to kill themselves. So from that day now, bear in mind I was 20, like I hadn't long turned 20, and that was 10 years ago. So for 10 years, as time's been going on, and kind of life has been changing for me, I've had this little shadow in the back of my mind, this little thing, the thing that just it doesn't go away, about Damien Kemeny, and about what I did to him, and how easy it would have been for him to kill himself, and then me have to live with that for the rest of my life. Now, bearing in mind, obviously, this was woken up recently with Bradley John in St. John Lloyd's killing himself because of fucking bullies as well, and and all I can kind of think of, all I can see is a very, very real alternate dimension where he killed himself, because the shit that I did to that boy, man, it would have been easy for him. It would have been easy if someone was doing it to me and I was that way inclined, then I'd have been gone, So I'm writing this song, and it's really fucking weird because I then get a Snapchat off a girl who I was in school with, who I haven't spoken to in months. Like we got this weird thing where we just kind of hit each other up every 5 or 6 months with just something weird from school, or like I don't know, like recently. Well, the last time I spoke to her, someone from our school was on fucking Pointless or something, and I took a picture. I was like, "What the fuck's his name?" And she told me his name. Like, he was in my fucking reg group, but I forgot his name for some reason. I'm going to take another drink. So yeah, just like weirdly, I just spoke to her, and she shows me this picture, and she's found Damien Kemeny with a very, very different name, and it looks like he's with a girlfriend, and he's living in like fucking Australia or something now. And I know he's been to the Philippines. I kind of had a squint through his Facebook to kind of see where he's going, and he doesn't look too damaged. He looks like he's kind of building a nice life for himself. So I was kind of relieved. I was relieved that he was still alive for a start. For my own selfish reasons, but I was just kind of relieved that I wouldn't have. The thing is, right? if I don't know, if he'd had killed himself, then it could have been over something totally different. But like for me, for the rest of my life, I'd have fucking 100% blamed myself on those thing. So I look back then at kind of the podcast that I did with Di, where I said I was going to message him if I found him. And then the time comes, and I'm like, fucking damn, like I can't, like, how in God's, like, how am I meant to do this now? How am I meant to kind of just how do I open a message to this guy without either sounding up my own ass or kind of going over like wounds that he's already healed and shit. So I'm sat there for maybe 15-20 minutes, and I've rewritten this message 6 or 7 times, and I write it in the end. So like I tell you what, I'll read it now. This is what I sent to him, and this is the final version of the thing I sent him, right? So I said, "Hey bud, I don't know if you remember me, but I was in your year in Koika, and if you do remember me, it's probably for all the wrong reasons. I've been contemplating messaging you for years, but I couldn't find you until today. And messaging you would mean I'd have to openly accept what I did to you. I was a massive dickhead to you in school, and you were the victim of some of the worst things I've ever done to another human being. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry for every single thing I ever did to you. If you don't remember me, then I'm glad that I'm the only one who ever felt lasting effects of the shit that I put you through. I ain't messaging you for forgiveness or even a reply, only for you to know that I was a stupid teenager, and I now understand the effects that bullying can have on a person, and I wish that I could undo it all. Thanks for your time." So that's what I sent him. And he's in Australia, so chances are he's in bed, or he'll be soon waking up. Actually, I don't really know the time difference. So I assume it hasn't long got dark here, so I doubt it hasn't long gone light over there. But that's the message I'm sending. And although I said I didn't want to reply, I kind of do, like, and I'm really, really I'm anxious. I'm a little bit, like, I don't know, I'm going to be restless now until I see his face next to the message to see that he's read it at least. If he reads it and doesn't reply, then that's fine. But if he reads it and replies, and whatever he says, I'm going to take on board. If he says to me, like, don't worry, then I can finally put this demon to bed, you know. And if he texts me back saying I fucking wrecked his life, then I have to live with that, you know. All I can do really, all I can do is kind of learn from that and never ever put anybody in that position again. Now, anybody who works with me knows there's a certain layer of kind of, you call it banter. I fucking hate that word, but there's a certain layer of banter that you have to get through with me. It's never meant in any malice, and if I hurt anybody's feelings, I hate it. But there is a kind of a joking kind of mess about within me that, like, nobody avoids. Even the best of friends get it. The people who pay my wages get it. You know, there's just there isn't really an easy way of getting past the fact that I'm a cunt, inverted commas, just for, you know, like, it's just the type of person I am. Like, my banter with you is to fucking rip you a new arsehole, and it's all in good fun. And like I said, if I actually hurt anybody's feelings, I don't like it. But all I can do really is learn from this experience. But what I would do is I would say to anybody who was ever in this position, so the position that I'm in, let me just move this cable. Sorry, guys. If anybody is in the position that I am in, where you feel that you have done something to another person wrongly, I genuinely think that the best thing to do is to confront it. It could come back now, and this guy doesn't remember a fucking word of what I said to him. Doesn't remember a single thing I did to him. And that's, you know, that's good in a way, because it would just mean that I've beaten myself up more than he's been beating himself up, you know, and that's a positive. if he says he does remember me and he remembers the shit I did to him, but he's kind of over it, and he tells me that I think hopefully he understands how fucking difficult it is to openly admit how much of a cunt you've been to somebody, like, and kind of this, and I've like kind of put myself out there for him to kind of just do what he wants with me. I would advise that anybody who is in this same position to kind of do the same, It's tough. It's a hard thing to deal with, but like I'd rather that than have something on my conscience that doesn't need to be there. Do you know what I mean? And anyone who has been bullied, man, I understand. I've been there. I was bullied before I did any bullying, and I don't understand that. That's one of the fucking shit things, because like when I was like younger, when I was in like primary school, two fucking girls used to bully me, and like I got kicked in the face, I got pushed around, I got verbally, like it was mostly verbal, but there was one time where one of them shunted me in the fucking teeth, and you can't, like, when you're a kid, you can't say anything. Oh, there's two girls bullying me, that's fucking 20 odd years ago. Like, if I said that, then I'd get even more bullied, But if you are getting bullied, if you're getting bullied, then do something about it. But if you've been bullied and you're beating yourself up, I'd like to think that most bullies, when they come of age, they kind of realise the kind of torment, and they realise the power that words can have over a child or a young person, or even an adult. I mean, you could be bullied now. I mean, fuck, it's the... Fuck. Even now, I mean, at that age, there's no limit to how old you are when you can get bullied, but my thing is just don't suffer in silence. It eventually came out, and the reason I stopped bullying Damien was the fact that somebody grasped me up. So that day that the day that I took his coat off him and his jumper, and I made him stand in like torrential rain, somebody in the bus stop went to my headmaster and grasped me up, and I got called to the headmaster's office, and that bloke, I don't think he was speaking to me as a headmaster that day. I think he was speaking to me as a parent. There was an anger in his voice that shook me. Like he was a headmaster, so he has obviously seen the effects and the aftermaths of bullying many, many times. So there was an anger in his voice that I had never ever seen before, and I've never heard it since. He spoke to me like a parent, and he spoke and he shouted at me like a parent, not as a headmaster, not as a teacher, just as somebody who knew what I was doing to this fucking kid day in, day out. And he shit me up. That's literally what happened. He shit me up, and I never did it again. And that's where it is. Like, so I'm kind of waiting for Damien to maybe message me back, or maybe not. But what I wanted to get from this is like, there's a saying that people never change, and it's not true. Like I genuinely couldn't think of anything worse than going back to that person that I was before. And I regret it, and I know now that I know what I would do if I saw anybody doing to my son what I did to this guy. So I'm filled with regret, like, so yeah, like, I don't really know how to finish this one, but take away from it what you will. I was obviously an evil little bastard when I was 14, 15, and I took pleasure in the absolute torment of another person, purely to gain kudos from my friends. So I don't think I got any young listeners, but if I do, if you're on the side that's a bully, just stop and think for a little bit about what the impact of your words and your actions can have on another person's life. And if you are being bullied, please don't suffer in silence. please don't just let it go for years. Speak to someone, even if it isn't your parents. Speak to somebody, speak to your friends. If you feel like you don't have friends, speak to your teachers. And really just don't stop until something is done. Don't rest on it. Because it's easy to rest on something like this and then it goes too far. You've rested for too long. And then people feel like they don't have a way out, and that can never be okay. So thanks very much for your time, guys. I knew it was going to be a short one because my voice probably can't take an hour of this. But it was a topic that I felt I needed to broach, and it was the perfect time because I actually got round to messaging Damien, which I've been planning to do for fucking years, because he's been beating me up. It's been chewing me up inside about not knowing whatever became of him. And it looks like he's done all right for himself. So I'm happier now, even if I don't hear back from him. So thanks very much for your time, guys. Every second that you give to listen to me, I'm really appreciative of it. When you comment, I read every single comment. And I genuinely love this small but dedicated community that we're starting to grow here now. So thanks very much for your time, guys. I've been Dan, and I'll catch you next time. Well, actually, I'm not. Obviously, it's next week is a no-go because it's Christmas, as I said before, and the week after is my birthday, and I don't know how the fuck I'm going to plan one there, but I'm really going to try. So if you don't hear from me for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to come back strong the second week of January, and hopefully my voice will be better. Hopefully my album will be done. And yeah, I'll have just way more time to dedicate then when Christmas is over and when my album is done. I'll have a lot more time to dedicate to the Big Fat Chat rather than a fucking album and just working all the time. So thanks very much for your time, guys. Like every YouTuber says it and every podcaster says it, but literally every listen that I get and every engagement that I get, I really, really do. I fully appreciate every single one of you people that'll listen through, just listen to what I have to say and kind of engage with me and kind of relate with it sometimes and even disagree with me if you have to. But I love every single one of you. And I'm so glad that the people have stuck around, even knowing that Di might not be around as much. So peace out. I love you all. Bye-bye.